Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari A to Z Flashback, a series of explorations of the 150 games that make up Atari Flashback Classics for Nintendo Switch. Today's game is Saboteur, which was a 1983 unreleased prototype from Atari, developed by Howard Scott Warshaw, the man behind Yar's Revenge, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and of course the legendary E.T. All three of those games are legendary in their own right for very different reasons, of course. Warshaw said that Saboteur was actually complete and ready for release, but at the last minute Atari decided that they wanted to make it into a licensed game based on the A-Team of all things. This never actually happened either, so Saboteur sort of languished in obscurity for some years until the prototype was rediscovered and re-released for a whole new audience to enjoy. So let's go do that. Let's go play Saboteur.
Okay, here we are once again with Atari Flashback Classics, and today's game is Saboteur. So we're on to the S's at last. So let's just have a quick check how much further we got to go. We got 1 page there, 2 pages there, 2.5 pages. We are getting there. We are getting there. Alright, let's have a look at the manual for Saboteur, which probably won't be that much because this was a prototype game. But for some of the Flashback releases, they did actually sort of make a little bit of an effort. They didn't quite make a full manual or anything, but they did at least put some instructions together. Okay, the Saboteur game was developed as a prototype by Atari and never released to the public until now. You are Hotot. Hotot? Hotot? I don't know. A cybernetic life form from a serene planet in a distant galaxy. Unfortunately, even in a galaxy far, far away, not everything is as peaceful as it first seems. For Hotot has discovered an alien missile base hidden on his planet. Manned by strange blue aliens, these evil intruders are using your planet as a launching site for their deadly warhead, which is posed to destroy the galaxy's power source. This is where you decentralize, you see. With the help of the bird-like Gorfons, you must destroy the warhead and prevent the destruction of the galaxy. Good luck, Hotot. You are the Saboteur. So, there are 3 separate stages to this game. First of all, you fight on the rocket construction site by shooting construction robots on different catwalks that are incoming. On the second stage, quotile construction robots run left to right across the screen. Yes, this is sort of a kind of a Yar's Revenge spin-off in some ways. If a construction robot reaches the rocket at the far right of the screen, it will be raised 1 step. This is all about that first stage. So you need to shoot the construction robots. Don't shoot the Yars. Oh no, we do shoot the Yars. These giant insects act exactly like the construction robots, so take them out as well. It's a bit harsh. They've been enslaved, so shoot them! Master Robot. The Master Robot slowly moves along the top catwalk. This robotic overseer will shoot bullets at both you and the Gorfons. Gorfons are squat yellow bird-like creatures who are your only friends. Each time a Gorfon successfully reaches the rocket, it will be lowered by 1 step. Try and protect the Gorfons from the deadly Master Robot. So after that, you move on to the Warhead Factory, where you have to bounce shots off the Master Robot and destroy the warhead pieces before they're loaded into the rocket. And then if you fail to stop the warhead from launching, you have to shoot it down. And that's it, I think. Alright, let's give it a go. So, you've got several different difficulty levels in this other game modes. So, you've got standard, fast, Master Robot's bullets bounce off the bottom, faster with side bullets, or faster with side bullets and Master Robot's bullets bounce off the bottom. Let's just play standard for now, because I think I've played this before, but not in any great detail. So, let's see how we get on. We've got a cool title screen first of all, Saboteur! Alright, so to play this game, stop rocket, save birdies. Do we have to press fire to start? Yes, we do. Okay, so we are stuck on this... Oops. We are stuck on this catwalk in the middle and we have to shoot up and down in order to take out the robots. There's one of our bird friends, which I just shot. Okay, bonus points for remaining rocket stuff. Now, on this one, we have to shoot our bullets off the master robot and not shoot ourselves with him. And blast those little squares that are down at the bottom. Oh, okay, so the little pixel thing bouncing around is the master robot shot, not my thing. I'm shooting the lightning bolts. This is tricky. But when you hit the master robot, your shot does go straight down, so you can then focus. Okay, so I guess we're too slow to prevent the rocket from launching there. So now we have to actually... shoot down something or other? I don't really know what's going on here. I don't remember seeing this in the manual. But what we're doing here is we are shooting by pushing down on the joystick. What is happening here? I don't really understand what's happening in this stage. Okay, well, I successfully did it. Fair enough. And then we're going to do it again, but faster. In glorious Atari 2600 tradition. So now we're getting some yars starting to appear. Yeah, it's quite amusing to think that Atari thought they would turn this into a game about the A-Team. I don't... kind of the mind boggles a bit as to how they would have adapted this formula. Although anyone who's familiar with the legendary Commodore 64 A-Team game will probably know that at the time licensed games didn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the source material. Okay, I think I get the idea of that. I'm just going to have another quick check of the manual. Warhead Showdown. If Hot Up was unsuccessful in preventing the warhead's construction, it'll have one last chance to destroy it before it detonates. Thankfully, the warhead only has minimal shielding and can be destroyed in one shot. This manual doesn't really explain things very well. Oh well. Anyway, let's just play it again. Standard game. Off we go. Saboteur! Right, begin. Shoot robots, save birdies. Ah, diagonal shots are the key. Look at that. I do like the fact they tied it in with the lore of Yar's Revenge. I know it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but the stuff like that I always find incredibly pleasing. If you've ever looked into the UGSF lore in Namco games, you'll know how delightful this sort of thing can be when they actually make an effort of connecting a bunch of games together. So I think this bit is supposed to be the Warhead Showdown, but it doesn't quite seem to make logical sense with what was being described in the manual, but... oh no! Kaboom! And then all over again. Should I point out the fact that the tyre tracks on the robots look a bit like swastikas. Oh no, that's so hard to avoid. I love that it makes the same noise as the Zorlon cannon in Harsh Revenge. That's very pleasing indeed. Oh, it's so tricky though. Oh, you can find more than one at once. Okay, that's something. Alright, let's get this right this time. He says, failing to hit anything. I still don't really know what's going on in that third stage, but whatever. I'm still alive. This is a fun game that I think would have done well. Because it's pretty, it's very colourful, it's fast-paced, it's definitely got an addictive quality to it. Only teeny tiny bonus that time. Okay, so you can fire 2 of the lightning bolts at once. That makes sense, since in most of the other levels you can fire 2 shots at once as well. It's just unusual to be able to fire 2 large sprites like that in a 2600 game. Because normally you'd be firing a missile sprite, like the bouncy ball that the master robot is shooting at you. One nice thing I will say about this section is it reminds me a bit of Cosmic Ark, and Cosmic Ark is awesome, so, you know. Any game that reminds me of Cosmic Ark is alright in my book. I remain unconvinced of my own abilities at this game. Ow! I like the sort of sense of inevitability in this game. It's quite a sort of common theme in 2600 games that didn't really have an ending as such. It just sort of... They just sort of play in such a way that makes you feel a sense of panic while you're playing. And you know that everything is going to end badly. So it's just your job to, I guess, try and survive as long as possible, really. Alright, let's have a go on... Actually, no, because I think we got to one of these stages just by progressing through the game. So let's just start with the standard game again. Let's see if we can progress a bit further with a vague understanding of the mechanics, at least. The sprites are nice and clear in this. It's good that there's sort of a clear distinction between the robots that you're supposed to be shooting and the birds who are helping you, and the Yars and so on. So, in a game like this, quick and easy identification of your targets is of absolutely critical importance. I'm actually not doing too bad in this stage this time. I think I'm still going to run out of time, but actually did a fair bit better there. I would assume you get a big bonus if you successfully complete that stage. Right, let's figure out this nonsense. So from what I can gather, you appear to be blasting these sort of chunks. Until all the blocks at the bottom of the screen disappear. And then it explodes. But then it seems to explode anyway, so I don't know. I guess it's just a bonus round of sorts. Ow! Who says these games have to make sense? Yeah, you'll notice now that the Master Robot shots are bouncing off the floor, so basically, once you complete once round the game, it just shifts you up to the next difficulty level anyway, so the different game modes are basically starting at level 2, level 3, level 4, and so on. And I suspect from there on, it just gets faster and faster and faster, and there's more things to destroy. Maybe less time to do it in. Oh, this stage is so difficult! I like it though, I'm having a good time with this. It's fun, and it's very much in keeping with Howard Scott Warshaw stuff. I mean, for all the things you can say about E.T., for example, E.T. was quite an ambitious game for the Atari 2600, and Warshaw seemed very fond of this idea of games with multiple parts to them, multiple components. And you can even see that to a certain extent in Yars' Revenge. Because although in Yars' Revenge you're doing the same thing over and over again, it does sort of alternate back and forth between different types of shield that you have to deal with. Bonus points, lovely. But yeah, when you look at stuff like E.T. and Raiders of the Lost Ark and this, it becomes very clear that Warshaw was interested in creating games that sort of challenge you in several different ways, rather than just giving you one thing to do and making that one thing harder and harder as you progress. And that's pretty interesting when you consider some of the other stuff going on around the same time. Because a lot of the 2600 stuff was just one thing over and over, but getting harder and harder and harder as you progress. And of course, a lot of great games came out of that structure. But yeah, it's always interesting when you see a creator for the platform trying to do something a little more complex and a little more interesting. And I think, yeah, that's very much what we've got here in Saboteur. It's still simple enough to be understandable, but the fact you've got those multiple components to the game just puts it on a different level to some of the other stuff on the platform. Not necessarily better, but it's a different kind of experience. So you would have to be in the right moods to play something like this, because sometimes you're just in the mood for something as simple as Space Invaders, move left, right, shoot. Or sometimes you want something with a little bit more complexity. And I think gamers at the time this came out would have already been starting to realise this sort of thing, realising that there was more than just simple fixed shooters and maze games and that sort of thing. There was the scope for video games to be so much more. And although this never saw a release, I think this would have fit nicely in with that. It would have more than likely reviewed quite well and got praise for the variety the experience offers. I mean, it might look a little bit laughable from a modern perspective now when you consider how complex today's games are, but 1983, this would have been pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, let's leave that there for today. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.